Is there any possibility of peace?
Yeah, so I think we always have to believe in the possibility of peace. We cannot not believe. It's a moral duty not to despair and for us to take action. And so, if we start from that premise, and we remain, as Gramsci said, optimists of the will, even if we're, pessimists of the intellect. Just staying with that kind of optimism, what we do is there's a tremendous amount of education that needs to take place. Okay. We need to point out that this war is senseless. It's madness. US cannot win this war. The only thing that can happen in this war is that it first turns tactical nuclear and then strategic nuclear, and then we're all done for. That's simply the bottom line. The US cannot win a war against China, certainly not in its home court, not right up against China. That's just not thinkable. It cannot use proxies. It cannot get away with those proxies. Those proxies will be very rapidly depleted, as we also see with the Ukraine right now. So I think that what we have to do is we have to educate, we have to organize, and most importantly, we have to keep our minds from being colonized and occupied by the warmongers. In in the doctrine of war that the neocons espouse, they believe that space is a domain of war. And when they talk about space, they're talking about outer space because it's the ultimate higher ground, satellites and satellite surveillance, and even possibly satellite weapons. They also talk about cyberspace as a domain of war because war is waged through electronic warfare and in cyberspace. And also in information space. And the last, but also the most important area is mental space, right? This is the space where we either think for ourselves and act from our consciences, or we let ourselves be drawn into and entrained into the war trance that the warmongers are manufacturing for us right now. And we simply become entrained and entranced, and we go along with it. And we believe the propaganda. We swallow it hook, line, and sinker. That's the piece where we can individually start to resist, start to think critically, start to challenge the lies. Don't believe the lies. If you don't believe the lies from the MSM about anything else, why should you believe them when they spout them against China? Okay, so start to bring back in your critical thinking, your skepticism, your capacity to analyze and to debunk, and turn your bullshit detector up to, you know, up to 11 because you need it. Because right now we're being barraged with an avalanche of lies. For example, Taiwan is an independent state. Absolute bullshit. Okay, if we go to war over Taiwan, we are waging a war of aggression because we're interfering in the sovereign internal affairs of another country. So turn your bullshit detector up to 11, 12, 13, and don't fall for the lies, and continue to educate, continue to organize, continue to come together with other groups that are working for peace. And through this continued action, we have to we have to prevent, we have to do everything possible to prevent war. If we do that, we have a chance. If we don't, it's all over. So we're at a very, very critical point in history. Right now, I believe it's one of the most important moments in human history that we're living through right now.